Sup guys, this is gonna be Proxy once again, here to bring you another YouTube tutorial or guide on Heart of the Swarm and how to play mech. This game is gonna be a Terran versus Terran on the map Achillean Flats, I think it's called. And this is gonna show how to come back from a deficit in TvT, how to play from behind basically, and then take it to the late game. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this guide. So I'm opening with a this is my new build I've made for HOTS. It's a 15 gas build, which is like, it's like kind of macro heavy and still kind of tech heavy. It's like good in both regards. It's like a middle of the roadish build, and it's very good in the metagame with everyone going for the Hellbat drop. So, and this is exactly what this player is going to be doing, Hellbat expand drop play kind of thing. And I'm going to be going expand like Hellion Viking type of composition. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens in just a bit. He's going out to take his expansion. Meanwhile, he's setting up the drop full of Hellbats. I have a Viking ready on patrol. I have 4 Hellions and 3 Marines. This game was played a couple of days ago. Now, these days, I get 6 Hellions instead of going directly into Widow Mines. Just so I can get, like, be super safe against the Hellbat drops. I see I have a pretty good reaction time to this, but still end up losing a lot of SCVs, since the Hellbat drops is so strong. As you can see, I took quite a bit of damage. He killed 16 workers. Now I'm behind by about like 8 or 7 workers. But as a response to that, I take my really early third and play really defensive with Widow Mines and double army. Like pretty greedy defensive, no aggression really. And he's gonna go for a Hellbat Viking push while taking his third. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm adding more factories, taking more gases, just macroing up, and he's ahead in supply by like 15, which is pretty big in TvT this early into the game. So he pushes out with a ton of Hellions and a few Vikings. But this is what's gonna happen. I have my Widow Mines, so he's just gonna run his Vikings. No wait. Okay, he's gonna run his Vikings into the mines, which allows me to be able to combat the Vikings, since he had air superiority before that, but not anymore. He still has a very overwhelming number of Hellbats though, which isn't very good. So I drop down some auto turrets, get a tank, some Hellions, just run away with the SCVs to minimize the damage. Start like forcing this back. Haven't lost too many workers in just disengagement. He's probably gonna kill that tank since Hellbats do so much damage, but I save it with my medevac. So that engagement went, it could have gone better for him. He only killed like 6 additional workers, so now he's only ahead by 3. And meanwhile I've got much better upgrades than him, I believe. Actually maybe I don't. What's his upgrades? Okay, he's 0-1, I'm 1-1. So it's kind of even. He's got his +2 started earlier than me as well. But I'm ahead on expansions and expansion timing, rather. So from here on out, it's just going to be pretty straightforward. Take additional bases, build up your mech army, get upgrades, and then start pushing out. I'm going to play really defensive to secure my third, since I knew he still had a pretty good eco. He's got 4 bases up. My 4th hasn't even started, so I'm kind of behind in that regard, I guess. But I have better upgrades than him, which is pretty good. And now he's doing a pretty cool thing I like to do in mech versus mech as well, is to get 2 starports, so you can get like Banshee Viking, which is very good since you can have air control, and if he doesn't have Thorsten, you can pick off the tanks with the Banshees. So yeah, I like doing that as well. But I'm gonna try and come back a little bit by harassing with Hellbat drops. I don't think he's... Yeah, he sees this with the tower. So I think he's gonna respond in time. He saw it quite a while, like, so he should be prepared for it. He has a pretty scary army, but he ended up taking a small amount of damage, nothing big. Actually, that was a bit more than I thought, like 13 SCVs. That's pretty good, I guess. So the upgrades now is him being on 0-2 to me being on 2-2, which favors me kind of heavily. I'm not sure why he's getting the armor instead of the attack. I guess it's maybe because he's going Sky Terran, like he's going Banshees and Vikings as well. I guess that's why he's getting the armor instead of attack, maybe. I'm not sure about that one. I siege up over here. I'm gonna slow it down now. So I start camping his 5th base, kills his Banshees and Vikings and shit, and just has a generally good siege position right here. Getting 3-3 upgrades, pumping out more mech units. Got kinda sloppy and lost my Thors, but I guess now he did his biggest mistake. He could have break this like really easily. Like I have like 4 tanks and a Thor. He could have crushed that, but he chose not to, which allowed me to retreat. This is kind of smart as well. I had kind of a bad reaction timing, so it's pretty much my fault for not noticing that a bit earlier, but yeah, oh well. Nothing happening. I'm gonna retreat since 2 tanks and a Thor is not gonna do anything to this army. He's gonna push out. I have a pretty big backup army, and my 3-3 is near completion. So I'm gonna go for another push to try and like force this army back, I guess. And the important thing here is that I have air superiority. I have like more Vikings than him, which is good. So he sees my army moving now, so he's gotta pull back. He doesn't want a base race since I'm CGI. Actually, I think he could have base raced. I don't know. I guess he thought he was ahead, so he didn't want to take a risk. So I sieged up right here, kill off a few Vikings and some Hellions and stuff. Meanwhile, back at home I'm getting more starports. I got pretty good upgrade advantage over him, which will help me really. Like, this is the end of the mid game, kind of. The beginning of the late game, I'd say this is. But he flies, he like attacks into my army, which is not very good. He secret missiles the Vikings, which does a huge amount of damage to them. I didn't split properly, but still I clean up his whole army. Kill that Banshee. So yeah, he lost kind of his whole army there. I lost kind of a lot more than I should have, but still I'm in a pretty good position. If you take a look at the supply, I'm still ahead, but he's got a very big bank. And he's taking 2 BCs now, for gaining Sky Terran, and so am I. Adding on additional starports. So yeah, now we're both transitioning into the mega late game, TvT. I'm sieging up his 4th base. Meanwhile, making a big army back at home. Should be getting my 5th base pretty soon as well, I think. Gonna speed it up a little bit. He tries to push out to kill my tanks. Yeah. I have control over his tanks. He has a... Like, I don't think he knew that he had Vikings here, since these guys would have helped him massively in some of the earlier engagements. But I have a very massive mech army again, so I'm gonna go kill this base while he's dealing with my mech army over here, which is pretty smart. I kill this and I get a pretty nice siege up. Even though he sieged first, my tanks have a better position, and he, like, the first volley of his tanks attacked my Hellbats, which allowed my tanks to decimate his front line, which is pretty good. So I lost all my Vikings, and he has a Banshee, so I knew that these tanks were on a clock. I had to do something with them before they all died. So I just, like, kinda suicided them in, sieged up, and tried to kill as much of his army as I could, and some SCVs as well. While, like, remaking my army back at home, making Ravens, and Vikings, and Cloak, and yeah. So I killed a fair bit of workers. I'm ahead 20 workers right now. and I'm ahead by about 30 supply, I guess. And yeah, I'm putting on a Hellion Rambai to do some damage. This base is close to burning down, but I think he notices it and starts repairing it. Yeah, he starts repairing it right there. He suicides some Hellions into my base, sees it's a planetary. Goes up here instead. I try splitting my workers best as can. He kills a few of them. Not all of them, but a few. So I guess that came out okay for him. So the armies are kind of equal right now. I have more air, and he's got maybe a bit more ground. It's kind of even on the ground actually. Yeah, I think I'm ahead in both now. But the key thing here is I have got way better upgrades than him. Like my mech is 3-3, he's at 3-0. I'm getting my air upgrades as well, which he is not. So that's, and I have a 5th base, he doesn't, so that's like big thing right now. I'm getting my BCs up. Let's just speed up a bit. He tries like one final push or whatever, since his economy's kind of broke. Since I even get more Hellions down here. Kind of lose them all to Widow Mines sloppily, but these guys do a bit of damage, quite a lot actually. So he decides to push over, I think. Yeah, he's gonna push down here. Catch these guys. No, they get away, I guess. But he pushes down here, but I have way more air than he does. So I just like PDD and Seeker missile all of his tanks and Thors. And they do pretty big damage actually. And just clean up his army. And then like after this he's gonna be left with almost nothing. He's like at 100 supply to a maxed out Sky Mech army, which isn't very favorable for him. Yeah, so anyway, I clean out this and clean out some workers over here. So he's super broke right now. I'm kinda broke as well. I have 40 SVs to 30. But at least I have a massive army. And because I have so few workers as well, my army is gonna be like so much bigger than his. As well as I have more bases and stuff. Better upgrades. So basically right now everything is going well for me. I have more economy, more upgrades, more army. All the 3 things you want more of. So, and he's starting to mine out all of his bases. So right now I just push in for the kill. He's gonna try and counter push since he knows his army can't beat mine in a straight up fight. I have too many BCs and Vikings and Ravens. So he just goes for counter push. I clean up everything inside his base. And like, I think he notices that this is pretty much over. There's no way for him to break this, so he calls it GG. So that was this game. If you liked what you saw, please follow me on Twitter at AlbionGrip1, on YouTube, and on Twitch TV at Twitch.